Greetings and welcome back to yet another episode of Leftover Bag. Remember 2007, the financial crisis, banks refusing to lend money, and one of the fucking worst years of cartoon history. Not only was there not made that many, not only did they suck, but Cartoon Network decided to be hip and cool by releasing live action shows. Yeah, Cartoon Network did that. An example is Out of Jimmy's Head.
This show shouldn't exist. It's a lame excuse for a company to not spend a lot of money on real actors, artists or animators. Now I know that child actors isn't supposed to be good, I mean they're still young. But take a look at Home Alone 1 or 2. They did alright. But Out of Jimmy's Head's worst trait has to be the fact that they are actually trying to make it look like a cartoon.
That's just not okay. That would be the same if someone offered you a pile of shit, but there was whipped cream on top. You wouldn't want that. But that's what this is. A pile of shit with whipped cream on top.
The episode starts out with our main protagonist Jimmy having the most fun and exciting class of all.
I remember snooze class. Everybody in the fucking classroom is more or less asleep and the teacher is so stiff and unemotional that he just doesn't care. Good times.
But not before long does the first of many problems occur.
Question for you.
This is Penguin. He's a stand-up comedian and a lousy attempt on a cartoon character.
He thinks he's funny as all hell and keeps doing lame stuff.
Cause he was negative.
But then he starts to sing. We're not even 2 minutes in and already this is terrible. I think that's a new record.
Do you have a problem with my teaching methods, Mr. Robert?
This is Mr. Prime, played by David Wells. And yes, he is boring to listen to, but at least he's not Ben Stein.
You're suffering from a mild delusion.
The school's bully bullies Jimmy because he likes cartoons.
Jimmy just happens to have the brain of America's greatest cartoonist.
Great work, Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network. You let a series mock what you used to stand for.
They are all interrupted by Jimmy's dad, who's also the principal.
Now wait a minute. Jimmy's dad is the principal? That should be the whole reason to mock him. Not the fact that he sees imaginary characters. Not the fact that he constantly talks to himself. No, the fact that his dad is the principal should be the whole fucking reason to mock him.
Anyway, Ken Roberts, as he's named, is played by Bill Dwyer. I'll just put the name on the screen, just in case I mispronounce it.
Jimmy's dad, the principal, is telling us about a talent show that is going to be held very soon.
Sweet.
There will be mockery for the least special acts.
Wow, honestly? It just goes to show that everybody can be a principal in movies as long as you just hate kids.
We see that Jimmy, played by Dominic James, who also played young Dexter, is talking to his penguin.
Excuse me, that came out wrong.
Good night, everybody.
They talk about the talent show and, well, the penguin's awful, so Jimmy decides to join his friend instead.
Hey, we could be rappers.
2007. The year that not only destroyed Cartoon Network and cartoons in general, it also manipulated and molested the music industry as well as the economy. 2007 was a good year.
Well, Craig's sister Robin, played by this name, who's done quite some voice acting in her time, comes in to tell them how terrible and rigged talent shows is.
You're jealous because you don't have a talent.
That's a running gag in the episode. The no talent girl. Better get used to it.
But the fun twist is that Jimmy has a crush on her.
You can be my girlfriend.
That's right, his best friend's sister, who he constantly tries to impress and fails every time.
Hey Robin, how's it going?
Can it be more cliched?
Check it out. Oh.
I think there's racism somewhere in this clip. I just don't know where.
We then cut to some weirdo named Sonny, played by Matt Knott. There we go.
He's after Jimmy's brain. Why, you might ask? Well, because he wants to make amazing cartoons, get rich, and eventually take over the world.
Of course!
Yes, he wants to make cartoons in a time when nobody did it. No one had the money to produce them, nobody had the guts to produce them, and everybody just bandwagoned on the fucking sitcom idea. And yet, he still thinks he can get rich making cartoons.
But the weird part isn't over yet. He's married to a money bag.
The money!
Well, we cut to the talent show tryouts.
Yes, people. This is the only joke in the entire episode that slightly reminds you of fun at all. But that's only because we've been deprived of it ever since the fucking theme song.
Let's see if you can tell what's wrong with this picture. The chick from Planet Attitude is my sister.
Although I have to admit, it's sort of catchy in a strange way.
Onto the talent show, we got Hula Hoop Girl, which didn't make it.
You know, since the principal said.
We don't cut anyone in the Everyone Special talent show auditions.
Which in Bad Movie Logic 101 means that they have to cut everybody. Except a few really strange ones. That's actually like real talent shows.
Next up is Guitar Girl, who probably can't even figure out Guitar Hero.
It's an old game, don't ask.
Juggle Guy and Kid, who I swear they tried to make racism again.
Breakdancing, huh?
This isn't my talent. I'm just excited to be up here.
Where can it be?
The Singing Duck Guy.
Great. You had to tell him that.
Why do these shows always need to have a local nutcase?
And now, finally, Jimmy and Craig is up. Only one problem.
Oh, my toe. The hip-hop center of my body.
First off, no acting, kid. Second, he got stage fright. Who would have thought that the guy who constantly tries to be hip and cool is actually a big nerd who cannot perform in front of people? Hundreds of people, judging your every movement, laughing, hating, writing extremely hurtful comments just because you mispronounced one goddamn word. Excuse me, what were we talking about?
So it is Jimmy's chance to show everybody how funny his penguin friend really can be.
Yeah, that came out wrong.
But instead, he decides to talk about how terrible the jokes are.
You know, his act stinks more than my socks after gym. Even the phone book's funnier than him.
I'm sitting here talking, not walking, trying to impress your girlfriend's dress. You see, it's not song, not music, hell, it's not even rapping. It's just extremely painful. But then again, so is rapping, so I can see why the creators got confused.
Well, just as it is written in the unholy book of Bad Movie Logic 101, everybody loves him and they want more.
Do we even need to say that SpongeBob did it in squirrel jokes? You know what, people? Why not just watch that instead? It's the exact same concept, only better.
We cut to the House of Roberts, where we are introduced to Jimmy's mom, Yancy, played by Lando, who is apparently an astronaut. Not that I say women can't be that or anything. You be whatever you want, it's the 21st century. I'm just saying, why? What purpose does that job play out in the show? That aliens is real or something? Anyway, Craig apparently eats some astronaut's dried food and decides to drink some water afterwards.
They probably thought they were so funny when they made that.
Anyway, we cut to Sonny.
Never buy a monitor from a fruit stand.
Sadly enough, Sonny doesn't go all out like some other bad TV series villains.
And now for my favorite part. It's disguise time!
Now that is a prime villain in a kid's show.
Sonny needs to hook up Jimmy to the family's TV.
Hook up Jimmy to the family TV.
That is what he said.
But Jimmy's sister, Becky, won't allow it since it's her turn to use the TV.
It's my turn to watch TV. Check the TV wheel, chump.
Yeah, she's an alien, and her mom's an astronaut. And the dad? He's a big fucking dimwit for not figuring out that his wife is cheating on him with Captain Bucky O'Hare.
Captain Bucky O'Hare! Mutants and aliens and toads beware!
Anyway, Becky is an alien and doesn't do alien stuff. She instead does completely normal Earth team stuff.
In retrospect, being raised by two Earthlings, this is rather plausible, but come on, none of us wants that. We want that crazy alien stuff, you know, parasites, brainwashing, probing, you know, all that good alien stuff.
After their shenanigans, we cut to the school where Dad yet again proves that the unholy book of Bad Movie Logic 101 is indeed right in any aspect.
Thank goodness for your act, Jimbo. Some of these others, it's like a middle school talent show.
Get it? Because it's true.
Somebody doesn't have a talent.
Back to Sonny and Cher. Becky.
Sometimes I feel like a little old woman.
What are you doing?
Trying to watch TV, which is hard to do when you can't hear it.
Oh, but you cannot unplug a thought extractor in mid-warm-up! It could tear a rip in a whole dimension!
They argue some more about TV and tearing a hole in the dimension. Well, it appears that Jimmy's penguin doesn't like to be made fun of.
That came out wrong once again.
Let's start using the name Tux as Jimmy's penguin's called. It appears that Tux is so broken that he decides to commit suicide by jumping into a dimensional rift.
Goodbye,
Yeah, the cartoon penguin disappears. And we need to care why?
Admit it, it's called out of Jimmy's head, meaning it's all inside his mind.
Empty your mind.
And the fact that an imaginary friend disappears only means that the person is beginning to grow up.
But no. We have to get a really bad climax just to get Jimmy's penguin back.
What did I do?
Actually, this is merely seconds after Dominic said yes to star in the show.
And yet again they try to be funny.
If they kept it at yodeling, it would have been fine, but this raises too many questions. It's the night of the talent show and she's still auditioning? You know what? Never mind, it's almost over.
After a lot of talent shows, even a singing duck that looks even worse than the gaudy animals.
What's going on, Richard? What's happening?
Oh, Gordy, somebody's making fun of us in a review. And now, finally, it's Jimmy's turn.
And if you listened to me and seen SpongeBob, you would now know that Jimmy has to choose between fame or friends, either to get rich or to get his penguin back. That came out wrong.
And you all know that he chooses his friends. And trust me when I say, it starts out painful only to become even more painful.
Because he was so negative. Zing!
And of course, not only does he have to perform bad puns even worse than most YouTubers.
Hey! Who wrote that line?
He also has to do a musical with his penguin.
Rated R because fuck you, that's nasty. Yeah, I do wonder why all of the actors isn't called Alan Smithy.
And everything ends with Jimmy having fun.
So what? At least he's out there having fun.
Yeah, because that's apparently the morale. Screw fame, screw friends. Just have fun. Oh, and apparently the duck sings opera again.
Well, that was out of Jimmy's head, the talent show. Now technically this is the second episode if you count the pilot made 1 year before. What can you say about it? It's stupid, terrible, boring and the milestone that almost ruined Cartoon Network. No jokes are working, the entire episode is one big snore fest. Most actors didn't go anywhere, while most of them did other movies though. The idea of cartoons inside a child's head would be good, but it's just not working. There is no direction as to where the cartoon characters is. If you look closer, you can easily see that Jimmy is just staring out into thin air. The penguin Tux is just annoying, really, a stand-up comedian that cannot do stand-up? That's not funny! The animated characters doesn't even look like they are there the slightest. And if they are not convincing, then it's really easy to side with the bullies. Look at Roger Rabbit if you want a cartoon live-action mix that is good. The best way to describe this episode is that bored expression the whole class has in the math class.
Out of Jimmy's head. Aren't you just glad that Jimmy can now play all he wants with his penguin? I'm the Angry Nator terminating bad movies for your entertainment.